Well, today the head of the NTSB testified on Capitol Hill, telling Congress about how her agency is navigating several active investigations.
As Jared Halpern explains, that includes the recent deadly collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter.
Transportation safety has been top of mind across the nation.
The National Transportation Safety Board has been working overtime following a series of aviation mishaps and mistakes. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill are getting an update and focusing heavily on the investigation into the deadly midair collision between an American Airlines jet and an Army Black Hawk helicopter in January. Democrats on the House Appropriations Committee are asking tough questions about the president's response and whether he was correct to blame the incident on DEI programs.
We saw the president blaming, quote, DEI as the reason for the crash before any facts were known. We cannot afford to put the cart before the horse.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy would not say if that view was justified, citing the ongoing investigation. She did praise Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy for placing stricter limits on helicopter traffic in and around Reagan Airport. But some lawmakers wondered why concerns about staffing at the airport weren't addressed sooner.
That, to me, is a very serious problem.
They're going to be looking at everything from staffing to changes in staffing over time at DCA to whether there should be more staffing.
Republicans blaming the lack of action on slow-moving government bureaucracy.
When federal agencies respond to your recommendations, they don't accept all the recommendations.
On Thursday, Homendy is due back on Capitol Hill for the first Senate hearing on the January crash. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A family is suing Disney, claiming a cast member took an up-the-skirt video of a teenage girl at the Orlando theme park. And apparently, this is not the first time the suspect has been caught doing this. That suspect is Jorge Diaz-Vega. He worked at a store in Galaxy's Edge in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Investigators say he admitted he had been recording videos up the skirts of female guests for 6 years before he was caught and had hundreds of videos on his phone. A 14-year-old and her grandmother are now suing Disney, saying Diaz-Vega intentionally dropped a toy on the ground and took the video up the girl's dress when she was going to pick it up. The lawsuit says the girl started crying and screaming when she realized what had happened and then had a panic attack. That suit says Disney should have done more to protect that girl. And as mentioned, this is not the first time Diaz-Vega has been reported. He was also caught doing the same thing to another cast member, and it was reported to a supervisor. He's now facing charges for voyeurism, and his lawyer is asking a judge to declare him incompetent to stand trial.
A Louisville healthcare group announced a new immediate care service in West Louisville. Park Duval Community Health Centers revealed the plans yesterday. Leaders say they will transition an old COVID testing space into an immediate care space. Construction's already underway at its headquarters off Wilson Avenue and 31st Street. We're told it should open in about 2 months, and it will treat patients even if they don't have insurance or the ability to pay.
When you have the amount of Medicaid cuts that's going to happen and people losing health insurance due to not having a job, somebody has to be able to take care of them, regardless if they had the ability to pay. Park Duval will be here to do that.
We also asked Dr. Swanee Jett, the CEO, about Park Duval's long-stalled farmers market project. He now says that project, first announced back in November of 2023, will break ground next month. The nonprofit received a nearly $5 million gift from Mackenzie Scott to help fund it. Jett says he's placed that money from Scott in an endowment while he's working to find the right contractor. Well, spring means the return of bugs, the creepy, crawly ones like ticks and the ones that fly like mosquitoes. So coming up next, we are talking to a Metro Public Health and Wellness bug expert about what's being done to protect the community.
And a dangerous secret was uncovered at a southern Indiana massage parlor. The sex trafficking bust that led to 4 rescues and an arrest.
Like he doesn't investigate that every day.
Can I get a mic check?
Absolutely.
Just count to
Check.
10 or
1,
something
2,
like that.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Keep going.
1, 2, 3, 4,
All right.
5.
All right, so this next segment really bites. We are talking about all things bugs, both ticks and mosquitoes. As the temperatures rise, so do their populations. So let's bring in the expert, the so-called bug guy from Metro Public Health and Wellness, Matt Vanderpool. Thank you for joining us, environmental health specialist. Tell us what we're kind of seeing now. Has that bug population started to ramp up? Because true story, my 3-year-old who has cat-like eyes said, "Daddy, an ant." It is right by the back door, and I was like, it's the time I gotta spray.
Yeah, so what it boils down to is that with ticks, they're active once we get to 40-degree temperatures. So even like temperatures in the middle of the winter when it warms up, they can be active out in the woods, and mosquitoes are about 50 degrees. So it's important that once we start to see those temperatures, they're moving slow at these kind of temperatures, but as things get warmer and warmer, they're going to be moving faster, they're going to be breeding faster, particularly the mosquitoes. So it's a good time to be cognizant of that.
All right, so it's important to protect yourself because they know that some of these bugs can carry diseases. So let's talk specifically about what Jefferson County does to protect the wider population.
Yeah, so this time of year, we're super active with mosquito control this time of year. So we have areas all throughout Jefferson County that hold water. And parts of Jefferson County used to be a giant swamp. Parts of Jefferson County are still a giant swamp.
Right.
So we treat those areas in the springtime, and then we start to transition about around in May to doing mosquito surveillance and then testing those mosquitoes for disease, and then starting to take complaints from the public about high mosquito populations that they're having problems with. Once we start to see positive mosquitoes that have disease, then that's when people will start to see those spray trucks coming out to knock down disease-carrying mosquito populations.
Okay, so this is a question, I think about because I have little ones and some folks at home may as well. We hear about you guys fogging or you spraying. And,
Yeah.
Our kids go to parks and they play out in the yard. Is that a danger to, sometimes they put things in their mouth no matter how fast you're there.
Fair.
Is that a danger to them?
So we try to have the most environmentally conscious spray program and treatment program when we're treating water as we possibly can. The product that we use photodegrades, so once we spray it and we're only at nighttime, We spray it at night. When the sun comes up, it starts to photodegrade, and it lasts in the environment less than about 6 to 8 hours once the sun comes up.
All right, so what tips can people use at home to protect their home from the bugs that you guys are spraying for?
The very most important thing that people need to do is that, especially if you're going to be out in the mornings or the evenings, or you're going to go through the woods, you need to wear insect repellent. The kind of market standard is DEET. There are a lot of other things like picaridin and IR35, and oil of lemon eucalyptus that also work, but the market standard is DEET. You need to make sure to get rid of all standing water around your house. So you need to check gutters, kids' toys, that sort of stuff. I've got kids' toys too.
Yeah.
So anything that holds water for 5 to 7 days is going to breed mosquitoes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Matt Vanderpool, or the Bug Guy, as he's known as over at Louisville Metro Public Health and Wellness. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.